You might remember last week we talked about the genocide happening in South Africa. Farmers who also happen to be white are being killed. The media hasn't covered this story. Not only that, but a banner we caught on MSNBC today denies that it's even happening. Trump falsely claims white genocide in South Africa. It's funny when you think about it. Our own media here in the U.S. still lying about everything when it comes to Donald Trump. And they are basing that on the word of the court system in South Africa, who ruled that no white people had been killed in South Africa, which of course is not true. But then again, this is the same fake news who continue to take the word of something called the Hamas Health Ministry when it comes to the war in Gaza. Hamas, of course, being a terrorist organization that our own media trusts implicitly. Hamas, who attacked Israel on October the 7th, Al-Qaeda is also a terrorist organization too. But after 9/11, I don't remember the Associated Press or CBS News quoting the Al-Qaeda Health Ministry for information about the war on terror. But they have no problem doing it now because look who's in the White House, Donald Trump. And last week we showed you this video of white crosses in South Africa placed in the ground to honor the memory of every white farmer they've killed so far. And today, Donald Trump did something at the White House that no president has ever done before. He played the same videos that we showed you last week for the president of South Africa in the Oval Office. And then he asked him why he's allowing that to happen in his country. Take a look.
Excuse me, turn the lights down. Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. We don't ever want to do. Can we withdraw my membership from this useless parliament? To the poor, the farmer, to the poor, the farmer.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
It's happening in your country, sir, and we think you're a liar. The media, of course, is denying that any of this is happening. So what does Donald Trump do next? Right in front of the president of South Africa, he starts reading the names and showing the faces of white farmers who've been killed in just the last few months. And the South African president, he didn't say a word.
These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death, 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 horrible death. Death, I don't know. To pick anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you. No, so when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do.
It was just unbelievable. And we show you that tonight on Finnerty because no American president has ever done anything like that before in our history in the Oval Office. The president of South Africa has been in politics for 35 years. He has allowed all of what Donald Trump just described to happen on his watch. But something tells me that's going to change now. He was in Washington because he wants to do business with America. He wants American investment in his country. But the message, the art of the deal message sent today from Donald Trump to the president of South Africa could not be more clear. End this now. Arrest the people responsible, or we will not invest a penny in your country, sir. But moments after that entire exchange, CNN went on the air and told the world that Donald Trump was wrong and that none of what he just painstakingly went through was actually happening.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush that President Trump laid out with video, with printed out news stories. This was a laundry list of debunked conspiracy theories. Some South Africans are telling me this is AfriForum propaganda. AfriForum is a white Afrikaner lobby group that's considered a white nationalist organization by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Everything, almost everything that President Trump said in the Oval Office is not true, was inaccurate, has been repeatedly debunked.
Yeah, well, we have the ambassador to South Africa standing by, so we'll find out if that's true. The truth is, according to our reporting, the white farmers in South Africa in many cases are and have been murdered. Donald Trump knows it. The president of South Africa knows it. And because of that, he was forced to sit there and just take it, which he did. He did that. But the media, well, the media are another story completely. Imagine if white people were killing black farmers in South Africa. Think about that. You think we might hear about that story from MSNBC and CNN? I think we would. I think we'd hear a lot about that story if the roles were reversed. But because these people are white, the media don't care. White people don't matter, at least in the eyes of the American TV network executives and newspaper executives, which are all run by white people. It makes absolutely no sense. Yesterday, we told you about Donald Trump's approval rating according to a Rasmussen poll. 51% of Americans approve of the job Donald Trump is doing, and we like this poll. We looked at it. More than 1,000 registered voters from both parties. This is a real poll. This is a good poll. But the New York Times claimed that the only way Donald Trump could possibly have a good approval rating is because people aren't paying attention to what he's doing. That's what the New York Times said, meaning that on the same day the New York Times wrote about the reckoning over Joe Biden's health, the same day they are still lying about Donald Trump, from one lie to the next. And I'm sorry, but you just can't have it both ways. You can't write about how you covered up the cover-up at the White House and then on the very same day in the very same newspaper on the same page write that Donald Trump only has a good approval rating because people aren't paying attention. You can't come clean halfway. You're either going to be honest or you're going to continue to lie. And it's clear to us which way the New York Times is going. They are going to continue to lie about Donald Trump every day. And for further proof of that, we noticed that the New York Times today didn't say a word about another poll that just came out that has his approval rating at 55%. And they didn't say a word because it's a lot more difficult to discredit two polls than it is to discredit one. Which brings us back to the media. The media cover-up of Joe Biden's health. The media covered it up for years, and now the media want to acknowledge that they lied about Joe Biden's health while still lying about Donald Trump. You cannot make this stuff up, and only the U.S. media would ever try to do this and expect no one to notice. I'm sorry, but we noticed. USA Today covering those very same polls I just mentioned. The headline, Trump sees meager uptick in approval ratings as the economy remains a concern. Meager uptick. Trump sees a meager uptick. That headline from a newspaper that hasn't seen any kind of uptick in readers, meager or otherwise, in over a decade. That headline from a news organization that can't bring themselves through their own stupidity to see any good in what Donald Trump is doing right now. They don't see any good. Deporting criminals back to their country is good. Trying to end the war in Ukraine is good. Closing the southern border is good. Reaffirming that we are a nation with only two genders, male and female, is good. Preventing very sick, twisted men from playing women's sports is good. A tax cut for the middle class is not only unusual, it's good. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico is not only good, it's funny. The Trump dance is good. It should be okay to have fun while you're trying to save the country from the damage that the media and one very sick man named Joe Biden did for 4 years. But the truth is simple. We all saw what was going on with Joe Biden, and we reported what we saw. While the rest of the media ignored the truth, they failed. And now they are once again trying to lie their way out of it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.